Sue here from Sue's Dolbrodmaeth garden today, and it's the 27th of February 2023 and it's 9:30 in the morning, out bright and early, just under chickens. And I just want to show you what I'm going to do this morning, because it's an alright day. It's warmer outside than it is inside our house, so I'm better off being out here for a minute. I've put the heating on for an hour, so that should warm the place up a bit so I can actually get indoors and do some work. But today, at the minute, I'm going to show you the potatoes I'm going to put in. So I'm going to put in the potatoes. These are very first early potatoes. And then I'm going to show you the walls that we've been building over the weekend. And for the few weeks, like, we haven't been doing it very much, just at the weekends really. But I want to show you the progress. We have done so much and they're nearly finished, so I'm really proud of that. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. But first of all, I'm going to take you over to the no-dig garden and show you where I'm going to put the first early potatoes. Where I'm going to put my potatoes, and I'll show you what these potatoes are. And I'll show you, I'm going to put them in one of my new no-dig bed areas that has been sitting. But I want to get something in here because it's got a few dock leaves, so I'm going to have to dig them out first. And then I'm going to put in these potatoes. And you can see them this way round. Right, so these are Rocket, they're called, and they're very, very early variety, perfect patio planters. So you could actually put these in planters. But I'm actually going to put them in this bit of the ground. They're from Scotland. Scottish basic seed potatoes, and they're grade E, whatever that means. Anyway, so they're little, and there's instructions on the back, but I don't usually read those as usual. But you can start planting them in March. It's nearly March, so I'm going to do them now. So these are going to be my very first potatoes, and I'm not going to do the chitting now because they're already chitted. They've got chits on them already. And all that basically means is that you leave them for a while until you see some sort of eyes, and then you plant them. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to just put them in, and you always face the eyes upwards so they grow. That's where the shoots are going to come from, okay? So I'm just going to plant them. I'm getting really hot already. I haven't even done any digging yet. I put so many clothes on. I thought it was freezing cold outside today. It's so cold indoors, but it's actually not cold. B&Q, where we went to B&Q the other day, all the way to Shrewsbury to go and get some paint for the building again. And yeah, so we have to go so far away, 2 hours away, near enough, to get paint. Anyway, never mind. We always make you know, we always make sure we buy everything that we need while we're there, and we usually go shopping while we're there as well. So we don't waste journeys, and when we go to Aberystwyth, we always make sure that we do stuff when we're there. So, okay, all those potatoes, and I've spaced them all out on this part of the ground. So we've still got all this left to do. So we'll keep those for the next crop of potatoes. And look at that. So we've got them all in there. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13... 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 potatoes. So that should be a really good crop of potatoes from there, from 23 potatoes. So you could spread them out more, but I always find if you keep them all together, they stay nice and moist. And this is how I've been planting the potatoes, all in these beds for the past 3 years. And this year, these are going to be used for my brassicas. So these 3 beds here, so there's one there, and then there's this one that the pheasants have all been scrapping about in, and this one here that I covered it with cardboard and put on the bed in. So these are all going to be used for brassicas throughout this year. There's a path here, so I've made like a little path so I can get to one side to the other, because they don't need to be that enormous. But we need to put some more of these hoops up on the rest of this bed because I do not want it uncovered. And with this netting, what I'm doing at the moment is I will recover up the potatoes until they start growing, and then what I normally do is that I pull the netting off quickly before it starts becoming a pain, and pulling the plants apart. But I do this so the birds don't come in here and pull up all the potatoes before they've had a chance to get their roots down. Once they've got their roots down, then I'll take the netting off, and you'll know that once they start producing leaves at the top, then you'll know that they're growing roots now, and then I will take the netting off. But in the meantime, I'm now going to plant these in. I'm probably going to do it on my hands and knees. This soil is really, really soft, by the way, and I pulled out these roots no problem from these, and there's millions of worms in there. I mean, so many, because I put a load of cuttings and stuff on this bed in the autumn to let die back, and it's all died back now. But I put a layer of mulch on as well, and a layer of topsoil, so it's well fed, and so it should grow. The potato should grow in here really nice this year. I'll probably later on, as they're shooting, I'll come through here and I'll sprinkle some bloodfish and bone on the top, and that's a slow releasing fertilizer, so I'll do that. Okay, so let me get this done and I'll show you once I've done. How many worms there are in this tiny little bit of soil that I've just done. So there's some there, all through this, there. Look how many worms there are. There are so many worms in here. Look, tiny baby worms, loads of worms. So that shows you all the worms are breaking this down, all of this mulch that I put in here. So I think that's about deep enough for the potatoes. I don't usually plant them really, really, really deep, because this is no dig beds. So that's usually about enough. So that's probably 3 inches or something like that. Anyway, and then you just make sure that the little stubby bit is facing upwards, like that. And that's where the shoot's going to grow. Oh, poor little wormy. Don't worry, you can go back in a minute. And that's it. So the first one's done. So let's hide up all these little wormies before the birdies come and try and eat them all. Okay? So I just thought I'd show you that. So that's what I'm going to do all along here and plant them all. Shouldn't take long. Potatoes, okay. First job of the day. And the chicken's feet. I've been cleaning the chicken's feet every day. So I've done 2 jobs of the day and cleaned one of the chicken houses out as well today. So and it's all done by 10 o'clock. So brilliant. So that's what we've done today. So I've left the label bag there underneath the net so it doesn't blow away in the wind, and I know what they are. And then what I'll do is I'll get a bigger label to put in here, and I've put this bit of wood here so I know where the potatoes are up to. So it's this side with the new potatoes called Rocket that I'm doing in here, and then I will put the next lot in this one, which are second earlies, so that I'll have the rest of this bed. And then when I do the main crop potatoes, I might put them in that bed this year, because I'm not going to have these arches around here because they all got destroyed. So I'm going to take them all round in my other garden, and hopefully they'll fare a bit better. But this one here is going to have to be cut all the way up to here, I think. We'll see. But we're going to put them in the beds around the other side. So I'm going to be moving some stuff around this year. I was going to bring the fruit beds, some of the fruit bushes, and I might plant them in these beds instead of having them around the other side. They might fare better here because they get more light and sun, but they also get a lot of wind. And I've got a berry which I could plant up against the fence there. I'm thinking where the buddleias are, I might put my berries over there, but that's not for today. Anyway, let me show you the wall, see what it looks like. Right, so yesterday we got to the end of the wall sections, and this amazingly was from the top of the car park, and we've been putting these in the beds that we're making, which I'll show you in a minute. But now we could actually use this earth as well, because that's a lot of earth there. But we seem to have come to the end of the wall, which is where this massive slab of slate is. So this is the end of the section, but I just want you to see what we had. So these are the walls. This is what it looked like, all messed up, all scruffy and awful, but this is what is happening. So this is the transformation of rebuilding these slate walls. I've been rebuilding them Simon has been doing all the, like, lifting out the great big lumps of slate and everything. And look at that ginormous lumps of slate over there. Great big lumps of slate everywhere. And moving all this earth everywhere. And I've been rebuilding the walls. So yesterday and the day before, Saturday and Sunday, we've been out here for the whole day wall building. So I've done all of this side now. So all this side's done. I've just got that side there to finish. That's collapsed. It's starting to rain now. That bit there I've already done. That looks all right, that bit there. And then, yeah, we had trees to contend with. He's like outlined the cesspit, so he's going to get some new covers. Then he's going to cement them in, and then we need a cap for the cesspit, so the aroma is filtered. And that's the other part of the cesspit. But there's all these old trees. But look, here's one I created earlier. So this one, I've done the whole of this one yesterday. Took it all apart, the whole wall. Had to redo it, the whole thing. So this one was completely dismantled. I done one side and then I do the other side. And I've rebuilt the whole wall. And what we're doing in the middle, because it's full of slate as well, but with our earth that we've got, we're filling in the tops and we're going to put loads and loads of little flowers in. Here are a couple of old trees that somebody planted right up against this wall. Really stupid. Don't know what possessed someone to do that. I just don't know. I don't know what goes through people's heads when they do stuff in the garden. But they're sort of like, we had to cut them right down. They're rotting off. But these were big when we moved here. And where the cesspit was, you've got all these tree roots and everything. This is why we had trouble with the cesspit. But we sorted it out now. So we just need to prettify it. And then we're going to put a little fence round it. All the way around here. So, and there's a water supply here as well, which we're going to make us put it on a stand with a tap so people can get water when they come camping. But that's what we've done. So, but look at this one. This is a completely finished one that's done. Filled up with the earth. Simon filled them all up with the earth yesterday. And doesn't that look stunning? I mean, you don't understand what these look like. These were dismantled. I will see if I can find the other videos when I first started doing this. But look, these are all ready now. So I said to open up the middle of this one. So we're going to put a bit more earth in this one and then have... And what I'm going to do, I bought a load of seeds. I think I showed you in previous videos of lobelia and stuff like that. And that's what I've bought that for, is for these walls. And there's another one here, look, all completely finished. That was the first one I'd done. And that took the longest, because it is the longest wall. It's really long. It's got 3 sections for putting flowers in. But I've rebuilt all these walls. Me and Simon have done so much work out here. He's been doing all the lifting and all the heavy duty work. But I've actually... Doesn't that look amazing? So they're all staggered. They're like parking bays. So you've got like 2 cars in each parking bay. And they're all staggered. And it looks amazing. I just can't wait until we see this flower this year. This is going to look amazing. I mean, we've never done this. I mean, I done that one, I think last year or the year before. I rebuilt that whole wall. I had to dismantle all of that wall and rebuild it. But it just makes the place look so much nicer when you do this sort of thing. There's a wall, I don't think there's a wall round this side of the hedge, but I definitely know there's a wall round the other side of the hedge. I'm not sure if there is here, under all this grass. I don't know. No, I think there's a wall definitely round the other side of this hedge. And then you've got these stairs here. So these stairs all need clearing. These stairs here. Yeah, there's definitely a wall here. There's a wall, slate wall here. So we're going to clear all that. And then all along here is also a wall. This is all wall. So we're going to clear all that. Obviously not in a day. I think there's a wall under here. Actually, might not be. There's a lump of slate there. And we don't get too near the edge because it might collapse. So, but look at this side. Look. So he's dug a sort of like a trench around it. And we're going to, you know, if the seeds fall in there and get flowers in there, but it's easier for him to cut. and with the strimmer go around the edges. I'll also do that, and then it's all nice and neat. Look at that. But doesn't that look amazing? We haven't quite finished the end, so take no notice of that, as I just said, but look how amazing it looks. We are so chuffed as to how well it's come out. I never knew I could build walls, but it's amazing what you can do when you try. I didn't even watch a video. I just thought, you know what, I'll just copy what's already there. They're just laid on each other, lapped over a bit, and that's how they were made. So we've just remade the whole walls. You can see where I haven't done it, but I'll soon have that rebuilt, and then we'll put some of this slate round by the pond, and I'm not sure where we put the rest. There's a lot of slate there, but I don't want these great big bits. But this was all in there, all in there. We might make another one there. Yeah, we could make another one there. We're not sure what to do yet, because it doesn't quite go to the end here, which really by rights it should go all the way to the end here. I'm not sure how much slate is under that bit there either. There. But anyway, we're done marvellously. There's only me and Simon doing this, and we're both in our 60s, you know. But if we can do this, imagine what you could do, being a lot younger. So it's determination, getting your mind to it, and making sure you're healthy, obviously. You can't do this if you're not healthy and strong. But, you know, it's amazing what you can do when you really put your mind to it. And determination. That's all we got, is determination. So that's what we did. Look at the size of that piece of slate. Look at that. That's massive. I'm not sure why that's there. That's always been there. But we've had so much. This was like a jungle when we moved here. This whole area. In fact, this whole area here. This whole area was all messy. The ground was all bumpy where the previous person had dug it all over, but then just left it, and it was awful, and we had to get someone in to flatten it all. It's not just a business, it's our actual house, it's our home. We live here, we live in there, we live in that building there. We don't, it's not just a property. You know, it's not just for other people to come here. We actually love this place. Well, love and hate it at the same time, I would say. especially when things go wrong. But it is a beautiful place. It's an amazing setting, and whatever we can do to improve it, every time we touch it, it's like we're improving it. So it's amazing what you can do when you really, really, really want to do something, and you just have determination in your heart. So that's what we have. So I need to go now, because I've really got to get on with some work indoors today. That's all the work I'm doing outside today, was put the potatoes in and show you the wall that we built. So that's it. So I'll just turn the camera around and say goodbye.